Welcome back, Romantic Home family, and welcome if y'all are new. I am Olivia's Romantic Home, and in today's video, I am over the moon, excited to share with you guys 7 DIY Dollar Tree French Country Farmhouse Chic Decor Crafts. So this is another episode in my huge I Love Spring series. I love to share with you guys how you can have a boutique, gorgeous home on a budget. I truly believe you do not have to break the bank to have a fabulous, amazing home. Now, you guys know I have been loving and crushing on my Paris chic kind of Olivia at the Ritz idea, but I wanted to bring in some French country, more rustic decor crafts because I also love that as well, that English countryside, the French country ideas, and these are fun, easy budget-friendly crafts you guys can do. Now listen, if you love easy budget-friendly crafts, consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. It's totally free. I am a full-time content creator and it helps me out so much. Also, pop over to my Olivia's Romantic Home DIY Facebook page. I have a free group page. You guys can share photos of your home decor and DIY projects, and I'm giving away one of my big fake cakes. The winner is going to be announced April 15th, so don't miss out on that. Now listen, I know you guys are here for the crafting and decorating. I have my little trusty assistant Benji Bear here. Without further ado, let's go ahead and plug in those glue guns, get out your glitter and paint, and let's get to crafting. For the first Dollar Tree DIY, I want to share with you all how to transform one of those Dollar Tree plastic watering cans with a coat of paint and a pretty image. So I'm going to start out with this satin Rust-Oleum white paint, and I'm actually going to just give it one light coating of this paint. I didn't have a whole lot left in that can, so I'm going to end up chalk painting a little bit more on top of it. The next thing I did was print out this beautiful rose image from graphicsfairy.com. They have some really beautiful images and they're totally free. The next thing I wanted to do was spray a bit of hairspray on top of my image and set that aside. Now I'm going to set about making this watering can look really vintage. So I'm starting out by layering on some of my homemade chalk paint, which is just a cup of regular paint mixed with half a cup of baking soda, and then you can let that dry. Now I want this to look really kind of vintage chic, like French country, and so I'm going in with this antique Waverly wax and I'm giving it a light wax kind of dusting just with this paper towel. And I did get a little bit of a rim of the inside, that way you couldn't see the newness on the inside. Now I'm taking my brush and I'm lightly brushing over where I had added that wax. I just want it to be a little bit smoother. And then I'm going in with a little bit more wax and now this beautiful gold Arteza paint. And I do love this paint if you're going for kind of that just rimmed in edge gold look, like that vintage French, country look. I want it to be a little bit kind of, high-end looking with the touches of gold. So I am using this old makeup brush to apply the gold paint. I love using old makeup brushes, repurposing and reusing as always. Once I had several layers of paint down, now I'm going in with some Mod Podge, and I'm going to Mod Podge the back of my image as well as on top of the little container, just a little light layer, and then I'm going to lay that down on the container. And I will tell you that the light dusting of hairspray over my original image really was a game changer. It truly made my image not bleed and it went on so well. So that's just a little hack if you're trying to put a printed image onto any kind of item. And if you all don't have a printer, you could always send an image to like a Walgreens or your local Walmart, wherever you may get something printed. And I just printed this on regular old copy paper, but I am loving this look. I really want to do a cottage summer garden style for many areas in my home, and now I'm going in with it just a little bit more gold paint. Again, as many layers as you can really get on something, and then just kind of gently wipe a bit of it away, and then I'll see how I feel about it, and then maybe add some more layers, and that's really going to give it that aged vintage feel. Now last thing I did was I just popped some little roses that I had picked up at Michael's on clearance, and voila, I have this fabulous little blooming French country cottage watering can that only cost me $1. I already had the paint on hand and the pretty little image I printed out on my computer, but I think it's a fun way to jazz up an everyday item to make it beautiful and decorative on a budget. So for the next Dollar Tree DIY, I have to share with you all how to make a super adorable vintage scale using this little Dollar Tree storage container. And I have to give a shout out to my friend J Money DIY, who originally came up with this scale idea, and also my friend at Our Green Acres, who came up with the idea of how to rust something. So this is my take on this project, and I'm using a little doll table and then the end of this ribbon roll, and I'm just going to cut my little vintage scale piece. And so you can Google vintage scale front and you can print out that image. That's how I found mine. Now I'm just going to take my little doll table, and this is in the kids section at Dollar Tree, and I'm going to hot glue that to the top of my container. I did flip my container over, and then I'm going to hot glue the lid to the top of that, and that's going to be like my little scale part. And so I will tell you too, you may want to paint your items first. I didn't do that on this. It came out okay. So, but just a little note, now I'm going to use a Dollar Tree napkin ring, and then I'm going to take my little ribbon roll cardboard piece, and you guys could use a plastic plate or a jar lid, anything that's round and circular. This was just easy for me, and I just popped this on here. This is what I had on hand, so I'm using what I have. The next thing I want to do is take some of this satin Rust-Oleum. It's a granite spray paint, and I just spray painted it and let it sit out in the sun until it dried. And then now I'm just going in with a little bit of my Waverly wax paint, and I'm just kind of giving it a light dusting to make it look a little bit more vintage. You could also use brown paint, but pretty much really whatever you have on hand. Now for the next part of this DIY, I'm just using some Mod Podge, and I'm going to add a layer of Mod Podge, and then to rust it, I'm going to use some cinnamon. So this is such a cool technique on how to make something look old and rusty, and I know pretty much everybody has a little bit of cinnamon and hopefully some glue. So once you get that cinnamon on, you can just take a little sponge, and these are just Dollar Tree sponges, and then you can add another layer of Mod Podge over that, and that's going to give it this really neat rusting effect. And you can let that dry and do another layer if you want to, which later I kind of think maybe I needed to have done that, but I was pretty happy with the results. It is a little bit messy, so make sure you have a little paper towel or something underneath your crafting space. Now I'm taking the little printable that was the vintage scale face, and I'm just Mod Podging that on to the front of my little vintage scale. And you guys, this one came out so fun, and basically it was about $2 to create this. And if you've priced vintage scales, they're so much more expensive in the home decor stores, and we made this on such a tiny budget. And then I just popped some faux lemons onto this. I'm actually going to move this inside once Easter is over and do a huge lemon display, make it really cute and kind of cottage chic in my kitchen area. So anyway, I just had so much fun creating this, and I hope you guys are inspired to possibly create one of your own. Pick up one of those Dollar Tree storage containers with a little bit of paint, and with those cute little doll tables, you can really go to town. For for the next Dollar Tree DIY, I want to share with you all how to take these Dollar Tree candlesticks and glue them together to give pretty much any decor piece some height. So I found this fleur-de-lis, which I knew would be perfect for this French country video at the local flea market. I picked it up for about $4.50, and I'm just taking these two Dollar Tree candlesticks and I'm hot gluing them together, and then I'm hot gluing the fleur-de-lis to the top of this. Now, if you want a permanent hold, you're going to want to add some E6000 glue or Gorilla Glue with the hot glue. The next thing I wanted to do was spray paint it this gray, and this is just a granite color. It was actually in Mr. Romantic's spray paint stash, so I robbed him of his spray paint, but I don't think he was using it. Anyway, I'm taking some of my homemade chalk paint and I'm just using my little makeup brush and I'm adding some dabs of chalk paint to kind of make it look like a little bit kind of washed out, like shabby chic, almost vintagey. And then I'm just taking a paper towel and I'm rubbing that white paint off. And that way it's not like super on there, but it just looks like it's like had this kind of ashy vintage effect. And really you guys could add any colors that you wanted. You could paint this any color that you love or that's going to go in with your decor. Once I had the effect of the ashy kind of shabby chic look done, I wanted to take this pretty lace and just tie like kind of like a scrappy bow is what I call these. And so I'm just going to take, and to make my scrappy bow a little bit more scrappy, I'm going to take my scissors and run them up the center of it. That way it kind of dances and dangles down. And then I'm going to take the two little pieces that were scraps and I'm just going to take another piece of ribbon and tie those all together. So you just kind of bunch it up in your hands, kind of scrunch it and then tie it together, and then you can tie that onto the original little bundle of lace pieces, and that's going to kind of give it that really cute little shabby chic kind of French country look. And then you can add whatever baubles that you love. You guys know me, I love the totallydazzle.com gems or bling jewels. I chose this one because it kind of has like a cascading effect. I'll leave a link in the description box below. It's Natalie and she's a small business and she has the most beautiful jewels, and she's always running tons of sales and giveaways, which is super sweet of her. So go check her out. Again, I'll leave the link in the description box below for you guys. So here is popped into my French country vintage chic little area here. And I cannot wait to share with you guys how I'm going to decorate my home for summer in this kind of French country vintage vibe feel. I'm so excited for it. I'm absolutely loving my Easter decor right now as well, but I really want to make it feel like it's like this cottage garden inside my home. So I'm really excited to share that with you guys. And I'm also really excited to start buying plants. I love plants during the summer. So I'm definitely going to be sharing with you guys some plant videos as well. So for the next DIY, I wanted to take this really cool little French country kind of bumblebee image, and I found this on graphicsfairy.com as well. I'm just going to cut it out. I had actually printed it out on my computer, and my computer was actually, or my printer was running out of ink, so I did have to kind of cut the bottom part off, but sometimes you just have to make do, right guys? So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to spray paint the image. That way when I Mod Podge it onto whatever I'm using, which I'm going to use this little white book. It's just a thrift store book, and it had seen better days, so I chalk painted it white, let that dry overnight, and now I'm going to add a layer of Mod Podge to my book to not only seal the chalk paint in, but that also to give my image something to kind of grab onto. I'm also going to take some Mod Podge and Mod Podge the back of my image and then do one more layer over the front. And then I have this super cute little French country queen bee book. I did have another book from the thrift store that definitely had seen better days and needed some new life, and so I chalk painted that one as well. And now I'm taking this beautiful Victorian lady image, and again I'm doing the hairspray trick. I'm going to set that aside while it dries. I'm going to add a layer of Mod Podge to my book because again I want to seal my book, and then I'll just lay that vintage image down and add one more layer on top of that. So this is a really easy fun craft. You just have to be a little bit patient with the layering of the paint and the Mod Podge, but other than that you guys can really use any image that you love, and I really suggest you guys visiting graphicsfairy.com. They have amazing free images that you can just save to your computer and then print out on, this is just regular computer paper. And I do want to leave an album of some of these images on my Facebook page. So I'll just, post the images that I used over there. So you guys pop over to my Facebook page. Don't forget to follow me over there. I am doing a ton of giveaways. This is how my beautiful Victorian lady book turned out. I think she adds so much style and pizzazz, and she looks so mysterious, like she's just a boss babe from back in the day. I don't know, I just love her. I love old vintage images. They just make my heart smile. And so I hope you guys are going to get creative and maybe find some fun images that you can add to some little books. I know everybody probably has an old book laying around that has seen better days, or that you would love to do a fun craft with. I like to take books that, are a bit tattered and then just go ahead and paint them if it's something that I'm not going to use and I don't feel like it would be useful to anyone else. And then here's my Queen Bee vintage laundry company book. I'm not even for sure that should have been on a book. It'd be really cute like on a little laundry tin, but I just thought it'd be so cute on this book because books are super versatile in decor. You can lay them down or stand them up. And again, I added that in to my little vintage scale area, and I was just so pleased with the results. Now for the next Dollar Tree DIY, I'm going to take one of these flowers and garden tins. This is just from Dollar Tree, and the satin, it's Rust-Oleum, it's in the granite color, and I just spray painted that, a layer of that granite color. Again, I'm going for some French country DIYs here, so I wanted to use some grays and then some whites. You can also use a lot of creams in the French country decor as well. So I'm just dry brushing a layer of chalk paint, and this is my little homemade chalk paint that I made the other day. I shared a video with you guys about that. It's just a regular cup of 1 cup of paint and then half a cup of baking soda mixed well. It is grainy, but it's great for crafts. So now I'm just taking this Waverly antique wax, and I'm just going to add a layer of the wax over where I had chalk painted. I'm also going to kind of rub some of the chalk paint off intentionally because I do want this to look really aged. I am going for like a really kind of French country look with this. You guys could also just use brown paint and add a layer that way as well. And then the next thing I wanted to do was kind of just buff it out with my brush. Again, this is dry brush. That means I haven't added more paint. I'm just kind of using the paint that was already in there. Now I'm taking this beautiful vintage image, again from graphicsfairy.com, but I'll post an album of these images on Facebook for you guys. And that way you guys can save them to your computer and print them out on your printer. And I am just using regular printer paper. Now I'm going in with a bit of gold paint, and this is the gold paint from Arteza. I feel like it's the best, even though it's a little bit pricey. It's about $4 per bottle, but it just really makes it look like it's gold. And so I'm just going to trim out her picture and then Mod Podge that to the front of this. It's super easy, and I did hairspray over this image. That way the image wouldn't bleed while I was Mod Podging it. But I thought this looked so beautiful, and this is something that I can use in my little beauty space, or I can pop flowers into. There's so many uses for little vintage tins, and right now the vintage tins are out at Dollar Tree, you guys, in all different sizes. This is the best time to find them, and I suggest to buy a couple of them because I always use them all season long. So just a little tip from me to you when you're out doing your Dollar Tree shopping. And here is how she turned out. So fun and fabulous. Now I did pop some of the little Dollar Tree lavender in there. I just took the little ends of the stems and kind of bent them down. I didn't use any foam or anything for this. I just popped them directly in there, and I thought that that would work just fine. That way there's nothing hot glued to the inside of this, and if I want to use this in a different area or repurpose it, I can definitely do that. But I am loving this French country look. Comment and let me know how you guys are feeling about this. I know a lot of you all really love when I do like a shabby chic French country Victorian look, and these are a lot of neutrals, so I feel like that they'll be very versatile, really pretty much with any decor, and it's such a nice way to add a romantic touch to your home. Now for the next Dollar Tree DIY, I want to share with you all how to make some really glamorous bling napkin holders. I'm just taking Dollar Tree napkin rings and this little bling wrap. This is also from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to hot glue it to my napkin ring, and I'm going to ring it all the way around, add another dab in between, and then add a dab at the end. And look how sparkling and beautiful this is. So this would be just a quick and easy little craft to do. Now, you all know me, I have to go a little bit extra with my glamorous bling jewels, and so I selected this really pretty butterfly. And again, I love getting my jewels from totallydazzle.com. I'm going to leave a link for you guys down below, but I love supporting Natalie. She's a small business and she has amazing bling jewels. You can get a whole pack of them, and the jewels are like $1.50 each, which, you guys, that is an amazing deal. I crafted with jewels and jewelry for years, and trust me, that's a great deal. Now, the next DIY I want to share with you guys is how to take some of those golden Easter eggs and add just a simple little Victorian touch to it by wrapping some lace around it and just hot gluing that as you wrap. Be careful, it is hard to use lace when you're hot gluing. You have to just be really careful and patient and let it dry, but I did just wrap that around my little egg, and so it gave it kind of like a Victorian kind of a vibe here. And again, I'm going in with one of my jewels from totallydazzle.com and just hot gluing that to my egg, and then I'm going to pop the egg on top of my little napkin holder, so it's kind of like a little egg holder. But I think that's just a fun way to glamorize some eggs, and especially if you're decorating in kind of a glamorous style. And so you guys could leave these out even past Easter, I feel, because they're gold and they have those really beautiful kind of French country neutral tones, and you could do so many things with them. You could add bows or roses or just whatever. You have like little miniature things in your craft stash that I thought it looked really pretty popped into this little spring setting. Now for the next Dollar Tree DIY, I want to share with you all the simplest DIY ever, and that is just taking some of these vintage images. And again, I printed these from graphicsfairy.com, and I had chalk painted these frames. These are also from Dollar Tree. I chalk painted them in the last video, and I just used a layer of white chalk paint, gold, and then a little bit of that wax, and they come out super beautiful. Really, you can paint your Dollar Tree frames in any color that you love, and then you can just take an image and print it out. And again, I'm going to leave an album of images on my Facebook page for you guys. I'll post that sometime today, and I'm just going to pop that into my other frame. And if you guys have looked at like Victorian pictures or vintage pictures, they're so expensive, so I just thought that this would be a fun way to try this out and see if I like having these ladies hanging around in my little studio space here. I think they're really adorable, and just they're so vintage and chic, and for only $1 each. And then you guys also could just send these to a Walmart printer or a Walgreens printer. They're super inexpensive to do that way if you don't have a printer at home. But this is just a fun way to kind of jazz up an area and just make it pretty and romantic on a budget. Now for the next Dollar Tree DIY, I want to share with you all how to take some of those Dollar Tree terracotta pots and jazz them up or give them a little bit of a French country flair. So again, I'm using some of my homemade chalk paint, and I'm just going to chalk paint these little terracotta pots, and they're so nice. They absorb paint so well. I only needed to really use one coat with these, and then I wanted to make them feel and appear a little bit more vintage, and so I'm taking some of my Waverly Antique wax and just a paper towel, and I'm just going to kind of like distress them and then add a little bit of white paint on top of that, especially if you get too much of the antique wax on top of that. So anyway, I'm going to do the other terracotta pot to match the first one. I always like to kind of rim on the inside because I may want to use them, you know, with flowers or something that you could kind of see down in the pot. So that's just a little tip too. And then I'm going to take these beautiful French country images and I'm just going to cut them out. And again, I'll leave an album on my Facebook page with some of these really pretty images. And I'm just going to take and cut both of them out. And you don't have to completely cut all the way around like the scrolly design because it's a little bit intricate, although you could. But I also used a little light layer of hairspray on top of the images, and that way the image doesn't bleed when I'm doing the Mod Podge part. So now I'm going to take my Mod Podge and I'm going to Mod Podge on the back of my image, and then I'm going to lay that down on the terracotta pot. Now this image was a little bit larger than my pot, or it was the same size, but you know, then there's that little bump. So you have to get really aggressive with your Mod Podging. I guess that's what you would say. But again, I'm just taking that generous layer of Mod Podge and laying that down. Now it did make it bubble just a little bit, but that's fine with me because it's supposed to be kind of French country and fun and, you know, just vintagey. So I don't think it has to be completely perfect, although you could resize your image to make it smaller and fit underneath the lip of the terracotta pot if you wanted to. I just printed it as is. I'm a little bit impatient, and plus this gave me more images on my printed piece of paper. So I'm going to do the other one in the exact same fashion, and then I have two fabulous little boutique gorgeous pots on a budget. And the next thing I wanted to do was just add a little bit of foam inside the pot. I didn't even hot glue the foam. I was just able to like cut it and pop it down in there, and then add these pretty little lilac branches or lavender. I think these actually might have been my lavender. Anyway, I'm just popping these pretty little spring flowers into here. Again, these are from Dollar Tree. And then voila, I have this fabulous little French country mini pot on a budget, you guys. Like really, these would be at least $6 to $10 at your home decor store. And then I'm adding in some pretty little moss. Again, you can buy a bag of moss at Dollar Tree. And I did share with you guys that topiary that's back behind these in one of my last videos. So I hope you guys are inspired to do some spring dreaming and some pretty little planters. I really do a lot of fake florals inside right before the season starts because I'm patiently waiting for some of those really pretty flowers to be set out, and even the herbs. I even bought real lavender last year and had that growing outside in my front yard. So I'm really excited for the plant season. I don't know if you guys can tell, but we are going to be doing some real plants coming up very soon once my area gets past the kind of freeze point. We've even had snow in April before, although we have really nice weather now. So I'm always a little bit hesitant to set anything out too early. Comment down below and let me know how you guys are doing with your weather. So for the next DIY, I wanted to share with you guys how to repurpose a box. And this was actually a box that my coffee pods had came in from Amazon. It was a white box already, and so I just knew the minute I saw it, I was going to save it and make a pretty little just decor piece. And so again, I'm using one of these little Victorian ladies. This came off of graphicsfairy.com, and you could always just use a regular little gift box. And now I'm going to take some of those little Dollar Tree doilies, and I had these left over from Valentine's Day, so I thought that they would just be perfect. And I wanted to just kind of add like almost like a layer of doilies to kind of give it like a pretty romantic kind of vintage feel. And so I'm just taking some Mod Podge and Mod Podging these on. Oh, and don't forget to spray paint the front of your image so it doesn't bleed. So I'm just now going to add in one of those little French country labels. Again, graphicsfairy.com, you guys, I am loving their site right now, just to change things around and just make things look really custom. And also, I wanted to throw in a secret question for you guys on this video. So I am hosting a Cricut giveaway, which I did a huge Cricut video on my last video. If you guys want to learn how to use a Cricut, I have a couple little tips. I'm definitely not a pro, I'm more of a beginner, but just some of the things that I learned. So you guys can pop back on my last video. But I'm going to be hosting a couple of secret questions in the next couple of videos and then giving away that Cricut next Saturday. Always look in my description box for all of the details for my giveaways. But anyway, here is my secret question. If you all could live in any time period, what would it be? Or what time period fascinates you, I guess? You know, I love the Victorian era. I don't think I would actually want to live back then, but I am somewhat fascinated by that era. I really love the Victorian, like just all the fancy ways they had about their decor and how they dressed. Again, I don't think that I would want to live in that time period, but I'm always fascinated by it. So drop a comment down below. It'll give you guys another chance to enter the giveaway. What time period fascinates you the most? That if you could go back and maybe just visit that time period, because I do love all the modern conveniences, but I would love to go back and visit that time period, I guess. So drop a comment down below and let me know. I'm also adding in some pretty little vintage kind of looking ribbon, and this little small trim is from Dollar Tree, and I had added some pretty laces to the front of the box, and then I just rimmed the box with some really beautiful rose fabric. It's ribbon. I lined that. I just hot glued that all on there. I'm adding a pretty bow, but the roses ribbon came from Michael's. Just wanted to give you guys a little bit of that. And then I'm just adding a pretty little bow, tying a shoelace bow, and then adding in this pretty bling jewel. So as always, I ask that you guys comment and let me know what was your favorite DIY in this video, and which one will you be recreating? I love to hear what you all are inspired to create, and I am just so enjoying everybody's posts on my Facebook page. If you guys have not joined my Facebook group page, pop over there. We have such a lovely community. So thank you all so much for joining me on another fun and fabulous crafting and decorating adventure. It's such a true blessing and honor to have each and every one of you all here. I have my little trusty assistant, Benchy Bear, here. He has on his Easter scarf, looking so handsome. I put this scarf on him because I'm going to be taking him for a walk soon, and he knows it's time to go for a walk when Mom puts the scarf on. Is that right? Am I talking about you? I know he has a lot of little puppy dog and kitty cat fans out there, so he just wanted to pop on and say hi. So are you guys loving kind of the French country I did? Do you love more of the glam Paris chic that I've been sharing with you guys, or would you like to see some English cottage countryside? I think we're going to do that kind of look in my kitchen coming up. So super excited to share that with you guys. And can you guys believe already in the month of March, we've done over 50 new DIYs on my channel. You guys go back and check out some of those videos. I've also been painting in my home. I painted my living room this kind of pale pink, so gorgeous. But listen, I would love to have you all subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have been on YouTube now for 7 years. My name's Olivia. I'm a DIY crafting mama, and I have so many budget-friendly fun ideas. I use items from the thrift store, from Dollar Tree, from TJ Maxx, Walmart, Hobby Lobby, pretty much anywhere that's budget-friendly that I can find a good deal on. I'm going to snap those up and then make a pretty craft or decorate my home with them. I love to repurpose and reuse. I know some of you guys have called me the repurposing queen because I will take something in my home that I have lived with for years and paint it and give it some new life. So super fun there. But definitely consider subscribing to my YouTube channel and pop over to my Olivia's Romantic Home DIY Facebook page. I share daily crafting inspiration with you guys on my Facebook page, and I even created a free group page for you guys. It's Olivia's Romantic Home DIY Facebook group page. You guys can join for free. All you have to do is just hang out and be kind, kind comments. If you feel like you want to post some of your DIY projects, you can do that. And I just want to give you guys so many props to everybody that has been posting photos of their home decor and DIY crafts. You guys are so talented, and I'm so uber proud of you. So thank you guys for being here on my YouTube channel. Thank you for all of the kind comments. Now I am hosting a cake giveaway. My little cakes that I make are in my Etsy shop. If you guys go to my Olivia's Romantic Home Etsy shop, I have probably about 30 different little cakes at all different prices listed for you all. And the dimensions of my cakes are listed in the item details, in case you guys were wondering. Okay, so recently I have been sharing a devotional on my page, and I feel like the devotionals just help me, they help you, and just helps us stay a little bit more God focused. I've also been reminding you guys to drink your water. My sweet daughter bought this water cup for me, and I try to fill it up with at least one giant tumbler or two a day. Two is a stretch, I'll be honest. But this is my second one because when I work out, I do go through about one of them. Okay, so this little devotional is called He Whispers Your Name. It's written by Cherry Hill, and my sweet friend Stacy sent it to me. So thank you, Miss Stacy. And last night, oh my gosh, okay, you guys, I had joined a Bible study at my local church, and it meets on Thursdays, and I missed the first one because I totally forgot. Mom brain or older lady brain. I don't know. Anyway, I just forgot. And then the next week it was Max's birthday, my son Max. You guys wished him a happy birthday on my Facebook page. Thank you all so much. But then last night I got to go, and the fellowship that I had with these ladies was so amazing. I had so much fun. All different ages, from young with little babies to older ladies to quite a bit older ladies, and then middle age, of course. So if you guys are like on the precipice of thinking, hey, I need to join a group, a workout group, a Bible study, just go ahead and join. Just go ahead and put yourself out there. I got there, you guys, and I was so nervous. I looked around, even though I've been going to this same church for 20 years, it has grown so much. And I recognized, you know, a couple of faces. One of my girlfriends was supposed to go with me, and then she ended up having baseball for her kids on Thursday night. So I went on my own. I didn't know anybody that was going to be there, and I was so nervous. I went and hid in the bathroom for like a good 2 minutes. I did have to go to the bathroom too, until it was like start time, because my table, so we all had table numbers and our name tags, but my table we couldn't sit down at yet because I guess it was like an overflow table. So anyway, I found a lady that had my table number on it, and I just started talking to her, chit-chatting, like, you know, hi, how's it going? You know, how many kids do you have? Da, 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 da. She was so sweet. And so were all the ladies that ended up at our table. And we had such a blast. We ended up staying and talking like 20 minutes past. And I thought to myself, why was I so nervous? Why was I so nervous? I mean, all these ladies are just all there for the same reason. They want to connect. They want to grow in their walk with the Lord. And I just thought I would share that story with you guys, because I know sometimes it's hard to push yourself out there and, you know, get out there. I actually am like a little bit of a shy person, even though I can be somewhat of an extrovert and push myself out of my comfort zone. Maybe I'm a shy person when it comes to new people. You know, I just feel a little bit of a fish out of water. So anyway, I just want to encourage you guys, if you're thinking of trying a new group, or you're thinking about trying a Bible study or a workout group, or you want to reach out to maybe somebody that's in your kids' class that's maybe a new friend, just go ahead and say something, because people are actually so super kind. And, you know, just bring your vulnerability and your love and your joy. So I hope that that encourages you guys. Now we are going to be reading in this particular chapter is called Fear. And the last one we did was really wonderful. And the title of this devotional says, The Fear of the Lord. My desire is for you to fear me in a way that is nothing less than an awesome awareness and understanding of my sovereignty. Your reverence of me will produce the humility you need to walk confidently in faith, obedient to my will for your life. I've never intended for you to be afraid of me, unable to trust and approach me because you're afraid you've sinned too much or frightened that you can't be forgiven. The truth will set you free from false fear and allow you to fear me in a way that will transform your heart and soul. I will always do what is best for you. There is nothing to fear if you trust in me completely. So there's our nugget. God says, I will always do what is best for you. There is nothing to fear if you trust in me completely. Don't pay attention to the fears that keep you from experiencing my peace. Those fears will prevent you from being obedient to me, and disobedience always brings about unhealthy fear. If you fear me, there is no need to fear anything else. I am above all sovereign. If you believe that, what is there to fear? Whatever you are going through, whatever is consuming you with anxiety, make the choice to believe instead of doubt. So whatever is consuming us with anxiety, make the choice to believe instead of doubt. That's our last nugget there. Choose to have faith and conquer your fear. Fear me above all else, and I will give you peace that surpasses all understanding. Yes, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. And that's Proverbs 1:7. So I love that idea of that, we do not have to fear God in the sense that he is going to bring this crazy wrath down on us, but to fear him in the sense that not listening to his instruction, not listening to and walking in his will is going to just bring about more of a tumultuous walk in our journey, is what I'm interpreting that to be. You guys let me know in the comments down below. Do you fear God, and how do you overcome doubt? I think that a good, healthy fear of the Lord is important, but we don't want to fear him like he's some angry, father or something like that. So, but placing our trust and our hope in God is going to help alleviate those anxieties. And I'm telling you that I have really been alleviated of fearing being an empty nester the more I put my trust and my faith in God. And I realized yesterday that my fear of being an empty nester was more of a social anxiety fear too, as far as, we're so easily wrapped up in our kids' lives, I think, as mothers and even grandmothers. And so we're always going to ball games and we always have a reason to focus on our kids. But maybe becoming an empty nester is also more about allowing ourselves to focus on ourselves. There was a lovely older lady in our Bible study. She was so wise. And she said, I think that becoming an empty nester is how God designed it to be. And so I've really been thinking about that and meditating on about that. What did she mean? Really, becoming an empty nester was by God's design, and really being able to focus more on peace and stillness, being able to be wise when our children do come back into our home or do need our advice, that wisdom. I'm going to have so much more time to do Bible studies, to have intentional relationships. Not that I didn't before, but there's going to be more of a focus for me on learning and really steeping myself in God's word, wisdom, and will. So I hope that that is an encouragement for you all, no matter what season you're going through in life. Maybe you're in a really busy season and your kids are little or your grandkids are little and you're really consumed, busy, on the go. Don't forget to press that play button on your praise and worship music, because God can speak to us so much also through our praise and worship music. And get into a Bible study if you have an opportunity, or find a nice church that you enjoy, or you can even enjoy church online if you're not able to get out and actually go presently sit. So I just want to encourage you guys, and I hope that you loved this DIY today, and I hope that you're feeling encouraged and that you're going to have a gorgeous, fabulous, blessed day, blessed weekend. Remember to be commenting down below to enter my cake giveaway. I'm going to scroll through a couple of the comments on my YouTube videos and Facebook videos and pick a winner. It's going to be April 15th for my cake giveaway. I want to spoil one of you all. And I have so many more fun DIYs coming up this afternoon. What I've got going on today is I'm going to take Benji Bear for a walk. He is now just resting patiently. Hopefully he's going to get to see all his little puppy dog friends. He's got Gracie, which is his girlfriend, and River, who is her sister. And then we've got Rowdy and Chief, and those are all on kind of the same street. And then we just have some random dogs always that are popping up and walking with us, or we have Crew that's also on their street, but Crew is a seasonal doggy, so he's not always here. So anyway, we're going to do that, and then I'm going to clean clean my home and I'm gonna clean my studio because the last video that I did, I got gold leaf flakes everywhere and things just need to be tidied up because I've been doing so much DIYs and crafting, and so it's time for me to tidy up. And then I've got to go grocery shopping this weekend and then church on Sunday, possibly seeing the big kids. They were here a little bit last weekend, so that was wonderful. So anyway, I hope you guys have a gorgeous, fabulous, blessed weekend. Remember to drink your water, get your water in, get your steps in, take your vitamins, eat your fruits and veggies, get some peaceful time for yourself because we can't pour from an empty cup. So until our next video, be kind to yourselves, be kind to one another, and we'll talk to you guys very soon. Bye.